A scorching orange dawn breaks across the endless savanna, yet the sky is fractured with streaks of fire meteors, cascading relentlessly, smashing into distant Earth with thunderous crashes. The ground trembles under the percussion of impact, sending flocks of birds into frantic spirals and dust clouds across the horizon. A small group of Homo habilis, lean and agile, moves cautiously along the riverbank, their eyes darting between the fiery arcs above and the predator tracks imprinted in the wet sand. Their hands clutch sharpened stone tools fashioned from river-smoothed flints, while broad leaves cradle droplets of water essential for survival in a world where each day teeters on the brink of chaos. Suddenly, the herd of grazing giant antelopes, they were stalking bolts in panic. Meteors strike nearby, sending shockwaves that rattle trees and scatter stones. The tribe freezes, each member instinctively calculating risk, flee, hide, or fight. A younger member, barely past adolescence, shivers under the heat and brilliance of the flaming sky, clutching a sibling tightly. Their mothers guide them with urgent gestures, protective arms shielding the children as the older hunters nudge them toward the river cave, their temporary refuge. From the tall grass, the silent shapes of rival Homo erectus emerge. Eyes, narrow, muscles tense, hands gripping crude spears. Conflict is inevitable, territory is scarce, and the chaos of meteor showers amplifies desperation. A stone projectile flies, striking a tree trunk mere inches from a hunter, cracking with a resonant snap. The rival tribe responds with a coordinated surge, advancing, while meteor debris sizzles overhead. Each motion, crouching, rolling, lunging, is survival itself. A dance choreographed by necessity rather than thought. Amid the turmoil, a jaguar-like predator, its golden fur blending with the sunlit smoke, descends from a distant ridge. It eyes the group with predatory patience, waiting for the chaos to yield vulnerability. The Homo habilis recognize the danger, instinctively retreating behind makeshift barricades of logs and rocks, hissing to deter the feline hunter. The younger children scream a raw, primal sound as sparks fall near their feet. One hunter rolls a sharpened stone, striking another meteor fragment to ignite a small fire, not for warmth, but to create a barrier of light and heat, deterring both predator and rival humans. The meteor storm intensifies. Dust and ash coat their skin and hair, mixing with sweat and blood from scrapes. One of the hunters trips over a submerged root in the river, plunging into the cold current. The others react immediately. A rope-like vine is grabbed, hands strong and synchronized, pulling him back to safety. This collective coordination, water-fetching, fire management, tool handling, child protection, is their lifeline, the thin thread between extinction and continuity. As a particularly massive meteor tears the sky, slamming into a distant ridge and igniting a small blaze, the tension peaks. The thunder of impacts resonates in their chests. Yet even in the terror, glances are exchanged, subtle nods, acknowledge courage, and tiny sparks of laughter escape, as a child mimics a hunter's exaggerated role. The balance between dread and joy, survival and ritual, threads through every heartbeat. The river cave, though scorched by distant fireballs, offers promise, a pause in the relentless trial of existence. Inside the river cave, shadows stretch and flicker as the group arranges itself in silence. An elder female, her hair matted with ash and her face etched with lines of both age and wisdom, examines a bleeding foot. A younger female watches closely, mimicking her movements as she grinds herbs between stones and packs the wound with moss soaked in sap. Survival is not only muscle and reaction, it is memory, observation, the silent passing of skill through generations. Outside, the world roars. Another meteor strikes beyond the hills, its impact sending tremors that dislodge sharp rocks from the cave ceiling. One grazes a male's shoulder. He winces but does not cry out. Pain is familiar here, as natural as the wind or fire. He bites down on a stick, and the others press leaves dipped in river clay against his skin, sealing the cut like instinct. But the moment of refuge is brief. A scout, lean barefoot, his body coated in dry mud for camouflage, returns with a signal danger. His wide eyes and sharp hand motions reveal that the rival Homo erectus have taken position near the cave mouth, trapping them between stone and fire. The storm in the sky has become a second battlefield on the ground. A plan forms not with words, but with gesture and glance. The hunters signal the elders to take the children deeper into the cave. Meanwhile, 3 of them gather flat stones, bone daggers, and long sticks hardened in fire. Their eyes meet one last time, acknowledging risk, acknowledging fate. They disappear into the shadows, climbing through a narrow side fissure that opens further upstream. At the cave mouth, the rival tribe awaits, spears ready, teeth bared, sweat glistening in the red twilight. But they do not notice the flank. From above, the Homo habilis strike, not with overwhelming strength, but with timing and precision. A well-placed rock shatters bone. A sharpened stick pierces the thigh of a spear holder. The attack is swift and chaotic, the fiery sky above echoing the chaos below. One Homo habilis is grabbed and thrown, his head striking a boulder motionless. Another lunges with primal fury, using only his weight to push a rival into the river current. The splash reverberates like thunder. In moments, both tribes retreat, panting, bruised lives exchanged for a scrap of earth and a breath of air. But the conflict has awakened more than enemies. The fire ignited by the meteor now sweeps toward the dry brush of the plains. Smoke billows thick and choking, turning day into dusk. The tribe must move, fast. The injured are lifted, children are tied to backs with woven bark and supplies. Stones, leaves, dried roots are wrapped in hides. They abandon the cave not in panic, but in formation. One by one, they descend into the water, wading waist-deep to evade the advancing smoke. The river becomes both shield and path, a living artery winding through the inferno. Above them, meteors still fall, yet their eyes stay forward, never looking back. The river carries them through scorched terrain as the night sky burns with falling fire. Shadows of meteor tails stretch across the water, each streak a reminder of how fragile life is, how thin the line between existence and extinction has become. But the tribe moves as one silent, swift, focused. A child slips, but strong arms lift him before the current can take him. The injured are passed forward, weight shared. This is not just escape. This is a ritual of endurance. They emerge where the river bends into a grove of blackened trees. The fire hasn't reached here yet, but ash drifts through the air like gray snow. The group collapses briefly under the charred canopy. One hunter climbs a low ridge to scout. From there, he sees it a valley untouched, where steam rises gently from hot springs and the trees still hold green. Safety, shelter, a place to begin again. The signal is given. With a flick of his hand and the beat of a stone against wood, he draws the others forward. They travel through the last stretch of ash and smoke every step earned through fire and fear. When they finally reach the edge of the valley, the clouds part for a moment. The meteor storm eases. Stars shine through. They descend slowly into the warmth of the springs. The elders wash wounds, The children splash gently. One of the mothers rubs river clay on a burn, her face calm. A fire is kindled this time not to defend, but to comfort. Tubers are unwrapped and roasted. The air smells of earth and healing. Then laughter. A small child finds a smooth, round stone and taps it rhythmically on another, mimicking the gestures of the hunters. Others join, and without language, a rhythm is born. A rhythm of survival, of life not just endured, but lived. One of the younger hunters, face streaked with soot, heart still pounding from the day's horrors, glances upward. Another meteor flares across the sky. But this one doesn't bring fear. It brings light. Here under skies, once ruled by fire, they do not speak. But in their gestures, their firelight rituals, their shared food, and silent songs, one truth echoes clearly. They have survived. And in this moment together, they are more than a tribe. They are a legend, written in ash and starlight.